Hello and good evening. We're Team Limestone, consisted of Noah Kessner, Cynthia Ramos, and Sarah Shelton. And our project is called Lire es Poder, which is also translated to Reading is Power. Our library and community description. We are a small public library in rural Limestone, Texas. The library was built in 1975 and it was renovated in 1999. And our community breakdown is we are 77% white, 20% Hispanic and Latino, and 2% Black. Limestone Library values is we value access, which includes outreach through different programs, bilingual search efficiency, as well as education and lifelong learning, which is a continued push for bilingual literacy, as well as content fluency. And we also greatly value diversity, which includes our outreach through bilingual story times. Our needs includes needing translators and interpreters for our community members and our patrons who can't speak English very well, as well as electronic resources and a library website that is accessible in English. And because many of our books are in English, we need to get more in Spanish. And this is the solution that we came up with, which includes translator apps and Duolingo, which the librarians as well as the other staff could use to help communicate with other people who aren't as proficient in English. And we also found a program called Steps, and we would like to have tablets with this program on it, as well as translation of documents, which will include Spanish handouts, our library calendar and program flyers, as well as translation of the library website into Spanish. This is our SWOT chart, which includes strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our strengths include we have a very dedicated staff and a staff that is willing to accommodate language barriers. We do have a bilingual staff member on site, and we have programs that these programs that we have mentioned earlier can go on to. Our weaknesses include lack of funding, our computers crashing, and because we're in rural Texas, having slow internet issues. Our opportunities. Steps offers discounts to the educational sector, more accurate translations. It'll be easy to implement and also create handouts and signs that everyone can read. However, our threats are that this program has the possibility to not be accurate or the language could be far too formal, a lack of usage to those who need it. So we would need to market it to the people who would need it the most. We're worried about not only the cost, but also with the political attitudes of having this program available. And this is the persona we came up with. This lovely lady is Maria Consuela Gonzalez Huerta. She is 46 years of age. She moved to Texas from Mexico in her late 20s. She has a husband named Eduardo and 3 children. Orlando, who's 15, Olivia, who's 12, and Oscar, who's 9. And all of them attend a private Catholic school. Her husband works as a mechanic, and Maria works as a housekeeper. They have a dog that she likes to make homemade food for. Maria speaks very little English, but she loves to cook, so she's especially interested in recipe book. She particularly enjoys history and going to museums, and she is also very religious. She unfortunately doesn't have much time to go to the library because of her work as a housekeeper, and she does get frustrated with working with students and teachers because of language barriers. So she isn't able to communicate with them as efficiently as she would like to. Her values include efficiency, which we have time savers such as ebooks and digital resources that are available. She enjoys healthy food and diet, as well as cooking authentic cuisine. She wants to be able to communicate in her own language, and she highly values family, the community, and her church.
So going into the actual solution, which is heavily reliant on steps, we had to evaluate what tech did we have on hand that could support the STEPS translation service. And really, it came down to all of our computers, printers, laptops, Wi-Fi, everything that allows our patrons to connect to the library website is really listed here, as well as a couple of items that will be invaluable in marketing the new website that has been translated into Spanish. So the public computers, public printer, but also like the building Wi-Fi, wireless access points, network drops. We have a Canva subscription, which will allow us to create ads and flyers, and mobile hotspots, which sort of helps to mitigate that weakness you mentioned in our SWOT chart of having poor internet connectivity. And really, the tech inventory can give you some indication that for our space plan, we do not need a lot. We just need what we already have on hand. So patrons will really be accessing the newly translated Spanish resources on our website from home with the mobile hotspots or in the library through Wi-Fi on their own computers or our public computers. As far as the budget goes, we had to really slim down, pare down to the essentials of what we need to get our website, which is already live in English, into completely Spanish. And that came down to the STEPS pricing. As you can see on the top right, we have the budget. As you know, we were granted, the Limestone Library was granted a $5,000 grant. We came in under budget and have a column here for actual expenses, and that's really kind of the quotes and prices that I found, but I budgeted extra just in case. So STEPS at 24 cents a word for a 15,000 word website would cost us about, excuse me, $3,600. Staff training is minimal, luckily, since really we're just directing our patrons to the newly translated site. And marketing will be consisting of a launch party, a radio ad, a newspaper ad, and flyer/ad translations, since we want the new website to be marketed both in English and Spanish. Moving on to the details of the marketing plan, it really comes down to leer es poder, which is reading is power. And the reason we chose this phrase is because so many people take reading for granted. English speakers in America are used to having access to libraries all the time, but in many other countries in Latin America and South America, libraries are not as available. And it's so wonderful that we have libraries, so everyone should have access to it. The target audience for our marketing, therefore, is primarily Spanish speakers, and secondarily, Spanish learners that will benefit from having the website fully in Spanish. The marketing tools we will use will include pretty much everything under the sun: social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. We have an email newsletter that goes out weekly. We have print flyers and newspaper ads that will go out, a local radio shout out, and our Leer es Poder launch party, which will launch, hopefully, by the Hispanic Heritage Month, which brings us to our Gantt chart. So planning everything in detail really brought us through each step of translation to launch party on the 15th of September, the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. So I really had to bring it back to April, since I didn't want it to conflict with our summer reading program too much, but I still wanted it to be ready to go on the 15th of September. So I left a lot of wiggle room in the budget because we still need to negotiate with steps. We need to get that discount because they have a range on their website. It's from 9 cents per word to 24 cents a word. And so hopefully we have some time to get the best deal and make the most of our grant so that we not only get the website translated, but we can, as you see going down the list, have a bilingual staff member check it and have the project be reevaluated so that we can not only translate the website, but also documents or the catalog and other databases as well. So we have marketing plan on here as well. We'll be making 2 social media posts. We will be posting flyers around town locally. And we'll also be creating a promotional 1-minute video for the public, which is why we included that digital camera in the tech inventory. And we'll be creating a poster, which is why we have that poster printer listed in the tech inventory as well. And really, hopefully, with all of our marketing across all platforms and media, we'll be able to wear down some of that poor political attitude towards Spanish speakers.
In order to provide signage, documents, and a website for our Spanish-speaking patrons, we will provide a translation program called STEPS. As shown in our Gantt chart, we will begin working in April, and our launch will be just in time for Hispanic Heritage Month. This will benefit the library by being accessible and able to include everyone in our community. We will check the engagement weekly by checking website visits and our social media clicks, as well as a monthly survey that our bilingual staff member is willing to make. We will reach these goals through research, funding, and our marketing to our target audience.